Good evening, my viewers. I'm very proud tonight to have a fellow Fitzgerald and a veteran on the show with me, Mr. Brendon Fitzgerald. How you doing, Brendon?
How are you, sir? Nice to be here.
Very well, sir. And you're a very polite person. I can tell maybe you had some service in the military like I did. Did I hear you served in a combat zone?
Yes, sir.
Where did you serve, Brendon?
I served in Afghanistan and I served in Iraq.
How long were you in Afghanistan and how long were
there
you in Iraq?
in 2004, November 2004 to June, just the end of June in 2005. And then that was about 7 months in Afghanistan. And then I spent 6 months in Iraq.
And you were a Marine, so I must say to you, Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
And
But I'm still a Marine, George.
You will always be a Marine. In fact, I have 2 Marines in my family, my son-in-law and my grandson, who may be deployed any day to either Afghanistan, Iraq, or wherever we have a shooting war.
All right, God
because
bless
he's
him.
been
Hope
trained
he
by the
stays
Marine
safe.
Corps to fight in infantry, similar to what you were.
Fantastic.
You were an infantryman.
Infantry, yes, sir.
And what
Trained by the best.
What rank did you attain?
I got out as an E4, which is a corporal in the United States Marine Corps.
And I hear you're still serving your country.
I still serve to this day. I'm in the Air National Guard up at Stewart Air Force Base with the fire department up there.
Okay, and your family, their roots are in Peekskill?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me hear a little bit about your family history.
So my family's been here for a long time, way before my days. And my great-grandfather was a butcher in Peekskill. And my grandfather...
Where did he butcher at?
I wish
A&P? No, you don't know.
I don't think A&P was around back then.
I don't know.
But
They might have been. They were around when I was a young man.
Oh, were they? I'm not sure where. And then my grandfather served at Camp Smith. He was in the Army full-time. And he actually received the New York State Medal of Honor for rescuing a woman during a flood in Connecticut. And he had, him and his friend jumped in the river that overflooded and, you know, trapped a woman, and they saved her life. So I think it's in my genes that I serve this country.
And you volunteered. It's an all-volunteer, I'll say Army now, or armed services.
Yes,
when
sir.
I went in, I was drafted. I was 24 and a half years old. I was in for 2.5 years. A draftee is in for 2 years, but I extended my tour of duty by 6 months because I wanted to serve my fellow veteran who was coming home from Vietnam. I was stationed out in Denver, Colorado at a military hospital. And this was after I served 4.5 months in Vietnam and was medevaced back home because I was injured in a rocket attack. The second time I had re-injured a fractured leg that I suffered in combat training and basic training. I could have gotten out of the service under a separation, but I chose to stay in and serve my country as well.
Well, thank you for your service, George.
And
I mean, it's much appreciated. Everybody, in my opinion, should serve.
And I didn't get a Purple Heart. I'm a disabled Vietnam veteran because I did not get rocket fragments in me. I was lucky enough to jump into that foxhole, and I didn't get a bullet in me. But it did happen during enemy hostile fire, so maybe I did deserve a Purple Heart, but I never put in for it. But let's get back to Brendon Fitzgerald.
Sure.
What is your educational background?
So I was a little bit more background. I was born in Peekskill Hospital in 1983.
Which is now Hudson Valley First Presbyterian Hospital.
Presbyterian.
That hospital has gone a long way.
It has,
And
definitely.
it's a very honor that it started out in Peekskill.
Yeah. So 32 years ago, I was born there. And from there, I was raised in Cortland, and I went to Putnam Valley schools because I lived on the border of Putnam Valley and Cortland. And then I graduated from Walter Panis High School.
Very good school.
Yeah.
I just saw a play there. They put on a play for seniors, and allowed us to go for free and gave us a lunch.
Really?
Isn't that
That's
fantastic?
amazing.
And I'm not even a Cortland resident. I'm a Peekskill resident.
Is that right?
But people know a lot of the good things I do in the community, and they invited me.
Oh, that's nice.
But let's get back
So-
to your family again.
From there, I went to work in construction, in the plumbing trades, and right after 9/11, I decided to join the United States Marine Corps and serve my country.
That's very admirable.
I spent 4 years of honorable service there. I met my beautiful wife, Lindsay. I don't know if you've met her yet.
I met her, yes, at a ceremony I just had at Society Hill 2 on Memorial Day. Because I feel that on Memorial Day, the first job of all the citizens is to honor the people who served and gave their lives for their country. They can then eat hot dogs, hamburgers, and whatever.
Absolutely, 100%. So I met my beautiful wife, and after serving 4 years, we came home to Peekskill. And that's when I pursued my degree in organizational management
Wow.
from Manhattan College, and I got my bachelor's. And then I went on to pursue my master's degree in organizational leadership from Manhattan College.
And did I hear that the service was an enabler there, that they helped you fund that?
So thank God, through serving in the military, I was able to use the post 9/11 GI Bill, which paid for my education there, which is a tier 1 school and a great education. So while I was going to school, I was also working my way up at Con Edison. I started off in the union there as a mechanic, and then I worked my way up the ranks, and now I'm a project manager for Con Edison.
Fantastic. Reminds me a little bit of my service. I would have never been able to go to college, but under the Vocational Rehabilitation Act, I'm a disabled veteran. I was able to go to 4 years of college, 2 of them to Westchester Community College, and 2 to another fine school, Pace University,
Great school.
and got a BBA there. And later on went to SUNY Purchase, where I took a couple of courses in TV, because many people said, well, if you're on TV, you must have had a background in TV, right? So I figured I'd take a couple of courses.
Oh, there you go. That
But-
explains your career in TV.
Yeah, and I've been doing it for almost 19 years and interviewed
19
about
years.
1,000 people in 19 years.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Congratulations, George.
But tonight we're here talking about BRENDON FITZGERALD and his service to his country and his service to his city of Peekskill. Do you feel a person should give service to their community?
100%. If you can do anything, even the smallest things, to help your community, I feel you have that obligation. I mean, we live in the freest country in the world, and a lot of us take that for granted until you step outside of this amazing country and go to some of these other countries where these freedoms don't exist. So I feel, as a community member, you have an obligation to give back to your community. And it can be in little ways and it can be in large ways. But I think everyone should try and to do something for their community.
And to do
To make
something
it
for
better.
their like, for example, our mayor, Frank Catalina, I understand either his grandmother or mother served at the VA hospital as a volunteer for something like 30 years.
That's
and
amazing.
that is tremendous. For people to volunteer at a VA hospital or to give in any way. I do some things on my TV show for charities. Recently, Support Connection, which is a charity that helps women with breast and ovarian cancer, had a fundraiser at a business that I covered, and they raised a few dollars for that.
That's
and it's
amazing.
for a good cause.
Good, fantastic.
But do you believe in Peekskill, and what do you think that Peekskill could be the #1 hippest town in Westchester? There's a contest going on right now, but by the time this shows, it will be over with. But isn't that a tremendous feat?
I think it's awesome. I think we are the hippest town in the county.
And Peekskill has come a long way, won't you agree? Especially Bank Street.
Absolutely. This city has started to transform from when
Yes.
I moved here in 2009 to its current state. It is totally different.
Even from when I moved here 26 years ago. Bank Street, there was mostly vacant stores now. Now it's a bustling restaurant row that our mayor closes down on Saturday and Sunday in the summertime, and it's like a party atmosphere there. There's bands playing, there's people out enjoying themselves. I hear people are coming from all over the county to Peekskill now. It's the in place to be, is that true?
It's amazing. People are coming here, which is great. I remember waiting for a restaurant to open, and the first one was 12 Grapes, and me and my wife and I would walk down the street from our house on North Division and Constant, and we loved it. There was somewhere to go. And then the next thing that happened was Birdsall, and it was like, here we go, we've got momentum. And then the next restaurant to open up was the Quiet Man, and now
The Hudson House now,
the
where a
Hudson Room,
restaurateur came from Midtown Manhattan, and he put a big investment in Peekskill, and I hear he's going to open 2 or 3 more restaurants here.
That's what I hear.
One down by the river. And let's talk about Riverfront Green, since we're both proud Peekskillians tonight.
Peekskillians.
I made a new word, maybe. How about the way the boardwalk and the transformation of Riverfront Green is happening?
It is unbelievable. I don't know if you've been down there yet.
I go
but
there every day. I walk there.
I went and snuck in and looked at the new
snuck in?
the new
Oh.
boardwalk wrapping
Yeah.
around,
Yes.
and it is beautiful.
Right.
So I cannot wait for that to be open. It's going to be amazing for people to enjoy that.
You
in the
know,
city.
I've come this afternoon. I've come from the boardwalk that was just built on the other end, and what a fabulous place that is. You get the sea breeze coming off the river. You have walkers.
Oh yeah, over in the Peekskill Landing.
and
It's
the
very
flowers that are there, and it's really beautiful. And,
Absolutely.
and,
They did some job there.
And another great thing that's happened in Peekskill is the Lincoln Memorial Building that's about to become a convention center. Is that right? Or a museum?
Well, the Lincoln Depot is going to be a museum.
Museum.
And it's a beautiful building. And have you been in there yet? It's amazing.
Oh, yes, I have for
So-
1 or 2 events.
They have done a great job there. It took a little longer than expected, but it definitely
Well,
looks
it
great.
takes a lot of money to make something good, and it's, a lot of it, I think, is state money, and it's a good investment because it will bring people to Peekskill. The Art Museum is another. We're really promoting Peekskill tonight, but Peekskill is our hometown, and
It's our
we're
home.
both proud of it.
Absolutely. It's a great place to live. I'm glad I came back home.
You may not know it, there's a local singer named Doug Ferroni, and he sings a song of Frank Sinatra's Chicago, My Kind of Town. Well, me and him and however you say it, have changed the words a little bit to Peekskill, our kind of town, and occasionally we get together and sing it together.
Is
And
that
I
right?
can't sing. I gotta stick to my night job. You know Doug Ferroni, right?
I don't.
Do you know Ferroni's Deli? That's a landmark. Yes. His mom and dad owned that for years, and he's gone on to bigger and better things. He goes with like Bobby Vinton and Bobby Rydell on cruises now and sings in Las Vegas and Missouri.
That's awesome.
And we're getting a lot of good singers coming into Peekskill. Jessica Lynn, have you heard of her?
I have not.
She's an up-and-coming country singer from Yorktown.
Really?
But you'd swear she was one of these girls from Nashville. She has a great voice. I think on New Year's Eve she sang at the Hudson Room.
Hudson Room, yes.
Yeah, and that's a fine restaurant.
It's an amazing restaurant. It's, one more great gem to this city.
Uh-huh.
So.
And Peekskill is coming alive, right?
Absolutely. I see it. We can go walk down the street right now, and you're going to see a lot of people out because people want to come to Peekskill now.
Especially for our restaurants and for our entertainment, for our arts that we have. We have art stores like Inga Doobie. I don't know if you know her. She's on Bank Street.
Yep.
She painted a picture of my cat, by the way.
Really?
And he modeled for her. And that was a present from my wife, who I love very much, and I've been married 51 years.
Oh, congrats.
She painted a picture of our cat, and I presented it to her. And it's still up on our wall, and that cat passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
That's okay. But tell me more about the Fitzgerald family in Peekskill, Brendan.
So my father is Tom Fitzgerald of the Fitzgerald family, which grew up on Elm Street. Had 7 brothers and sisters.
Wow, 7
And,
brothers
yeah,
and sisters.
7 brothers.
That's
and
like the
sisters.
Sullivans. They had 7 brothers.
So I think just about everyone knows one of them, as I noticed as I talked to a lot of people in the city. Someone seems to have known someone from my family, which is great because it makes you feel like you're in a friendly hometown in this city.
It is a friendly hometown. You know, I lived in Yonkers for 47 years. In the old days, it was a very friendly hometown. But towards the end, when I decided to move to the greener pastures of Peekskill, and I live in Society Hill too, which is a fabulous place. I think a lot of old-time Peekskillites lived there, famous people, Harriet Beecher Stowe or some relative of hers. And there's flowers there, there's trees there. It's a beautiful place to live. And a lot of times we hear negative things about Peekskill, but to me, Peekskill is a great little town. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a great little city, and it's on its
City,
way up.
you're right. It's not a friendly town, it's a friendly city. It is definitely on the rise, and with great leadership, it can continue to be on the rise.
Absolutely.
But tonight, I think we have a big revelation to tell.
Do we?
That I've heard through the grapevine that you want to do more to serve your city. Is that true?
That is true.
And what can be the breaking news tonight, Brendan?
So I'm planning to run for Common Council for the city of Peekskill.
Right.
So I can represent my community and serve our great city and make difficult decisions, knowing that I've got people's best interest at heart that live in this city. And I will continue to do what I've done in the past, serving my country with honor and integrity, and do what is right when no one's looking.
And do you truly care about the people of Peekskill?
I do care about this city. I do care about the people of this city.
This is why you're willing to take on a common council job, which you can get a lot of abuse from people at meetings and all that, and it pays very little. It only pays $9,000 or $10,000 a year.
It's definitely not for the pay. It's to help my city. It's to help my fellow community members.
What made you decide to run?
So I got very tired of watching our city. In 2009, when I moved here, the city was a mess. And then I watched it go further downhill from there. Now when the mayor, Frank Catalina, took over and his team took over, Boo Vesey and Joe Torres, they started to change what the Foster administration had done to our city.
So you're running on the Republican team, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Republican ticket.
And are you running on an independent ticket as well, or just the Republican ticket?
I'm running currently on the Republican ticket, and we'll see about the independent ticket.
Okay, and give me a couple of more reasons why you decided to run and why you feel you're the right man for the people.
So I bring a new set of ideas, a new generation to the people that are coming to this city. I see firsthand that people want to be in Peekskill and they just don't have anywhere to live. And the city needs to get out of the way of people that want to come and invest in this city. It's not the city of Peekskill building restaurants. It's people like Louis Lanza building restaurants, investing their money. And when the city sits there and puts up roadblock after roadblock, we as the people need to say, we have to take a time out and look at this. We need to stop making things so difficult and start opening the doors to the new people that want to come to this city and make it great. My grandparents spoke of a time when, and so many other people that I've talked to, of a time when this city was amazing. You could walk down the streets and buy a suit, and you could buy anything you needed in this city. And
so you're saying then we need more retail stores back in the city?
Absolutely.
Little shops.
Absolutely.
Pizza parlors, I don't know what, and possibly a big store. What is your feelings on a big store?
Well, I think we have the ability to make an amazing, we can build this city how we want to see fit. And I don't think the best idea is to bring in a giant box store.
I don't say a box store, and I hate that word box store. You mean a store that saves people money, that gives jobs and lowers taxes, is a box store?
Well, I think we have to look at it from different angles.
But I think one thing that could happen too, and I've heard a lot of suggestions by Mayor Catalina, to bring more housing into Peekskill, middle class, some lower class, affordable housing. And as you get more people in, you will get more businesses wanting to come to Peekskill, other than restaurants.
So my plan is to support Mayor Catalina and his team so we can get a lot of these projects completed. If you've seen the State of the City address the mayor gave, it's amazing.
Excellent.
And it outlines the potential for this city. People want to dump millions and millions of dollars
tremendous.
into this city.
I'm all for that. I'd like to see property values go up, up, up.
And we need to get rid of the Foster administration that's creating roadblocks just to be difficult, because they don't want to see this city be successful. And that's why I'm running, because I can't stomach that.
So you feel
behavior.
the Foster administration is still running the city of Peekskill?
Well,
they have a 4-3 majority still.
Her people are still
4
there.
Democrats to 3 Republicans. Although we have a Republican mayor, we still have a Democratic deputy mayor. Do you know it was the first time in history a mayor was not allowed to pick his own deputy mayor in the history of Peekskill?
Is that correct?
Yes. But
very interesting.
yes.
But we will.
So you feel there's been roadblocks to the progress that Mr. Vesey, Mr. Torres, and Frank Catalina have been trying to achieve since they've been in office about a year and a half ago?
Absolutely. And when we have the majority, we will be able to do what is right for the city, what's right for our community members. And if you look at what Frank Catalina has done, he has nothing but good intentions. He's not out there looking for his own self-interest. He's out there doing the right thing for this city. And if you just speak to him on the street, you'll realize that. And when you look at the facts and not the rumors that have been started, and just look at the facts, you'll be able to make your decision on who has the best interests of this city at heart.
Mm-hmm. There'll be other members running with you, I imagine. They haven't been announced yet?
They've not been announced yet.
Okay, so I'm sure they're also going to be good people.
Absolutely.
And,
we've got,
so what is it? The council is every 4 years, but the mayor has to run every 2 years. What do you think about that?
The mayor runs every 2 years, and then they offset the council seats. So their elections
They're sort of staggered.
They're staggered. So you're not having a new slate of people every 4 years. So they stagger those seats, and then there's a special election, which was McKinsey, who took over for Deputy Mayor Don Bennett.
Right.
So
Don was a great guy.
He
by
was.
the way.
He's
Did a lot
amazing.
for the city.
Absolutely.
And a lot for his community, and I think his son or somebody in his family was a veteran. I'm very for veterans.
He was a veteran.
Yep, he was a veteran too.
Great
He had a lot to do with a great radio station too, WHUD
Yes,
and
sir.
WLNA. I think he was a sales representative for.
Absolutely.
I miss Don a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jerry Desmond's another good guy from that area, going back to old-time Peekskill. And we need stores again like the Pisani store and the Gibbs. You don't remember them, but they
I
were
don't.
old-time Peekskill, and people would walk to the Paramount and have an ice cream soda or popcorn, and it was a good time on a Saturday. Reminds me of Yonkers the way it was like 50 years ago, too.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes,
George.
sir.
It seems you have your ear to the beat of the heart of this city.
Yes.
What do the people want in this city? What does everyone want to see? What are the opinions out there
There
of
are-
what's been happening?
I think they just want to see an honest government and a government that moves Peekskill forward. Oh, they would love to see a council and a mayor that get along together, that work for the good of the city and not just go for what party lines want.
I'm 100% with you. And I think one of the big issues is public safety. When people move into a community,
Oh, yes.
you want to know you can walk down the street and be safe.
And we
your
have a
family's
very
safe.
fine police department.
They're amazing.
Very fine.
Chief
Chief-
Johansson
yes.
is the best thing to happen to this city.
You know,
since I've
under
seen
that
it in a
under
while.
administration, a report came out about how bad crime was in Peekskill, and I got up at a city council meeting. You probably know I'm a community activist as well as being a talk show host
I have
here.
seen you at the Common
And I
Council
says,
meetings.
what do you mean, Ms. Foster, putting out this PR thing that Peekskill is so crime-ridden? You had more major crimes in Yonkers in one night than you've had in the whole year. And they paid a consultant something like $40,000 or $50,000 to come out with this report, and it really painted Peekskill in a very bad light. And I don't like it when a News 12 comes out with a reporter and goes around Peekskill and shows that there's drugs on every street, which is untrue, when they are in Yonkers, Mount Vernon, and places like that, and really should play up the drugs in those cities. But with that, we have 1 minute left. What do you have to say in closing?
I look forward to serving the city. I look forward to serving my fellow community members. And I'm going to serve with honor and integrity and bring something to the table that's going to help this city.
And one thing I like to do on this show from time to time is meet the candidates. So I think you're the first candidate I've had on this year. And I leave my show open to anybody who wants to come on. I believe in equal rights for everyone on my show. And thank you so much, Mr. Fitzgerald, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you very much. Thanks for
And I
having me
wish
on.
everyone who's running and wanting to serve their country good luck.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, sir.